Greetings, 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 royal family. So let's get into episode 2 of Greenleaf. This is the review. First of all, just to give you the rundown, Grace, she is stressed out in just about every area of her life. AJ ain't dead. And I say that with honest disappointment. Charity is still Charity. Lady Mae got to hold it together. Bishop, it's a lot going on. I don't have a good feeling about Bishop, man, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I think we might get some really, 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 really bad news about Bishop at the end of the season. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So Grace is at the hospital, right? AJ is stable and he has to have a transfusion. The family was there all night long. This AJ guy, I think it's time for them to wrap up his storyline. It's kind of like a waste of storyline because we have other things to tighten up with this Greenleaf. Like, where's Bob? The church is about to get demolished in a couple of days. You know what? Anyway, the nurse asked Grace if she was injured by the razor blade that AJ used to cut himself. And I thought that was an interesting question. I said, huh. And she also asked if Sophia was his girlfriend. Grace says, no, that's his sister. Grace also said, no, she wasn't injured. Why? Nurses just taking safety precautions. It was in that moment that I realized AJ has a transferable disease. He was breaking in the pharmacy for a reason, right? Stealing medication. He wasn't selling it to make money because Grace was financially supporting him. So what incurable disease or transferable disease does AJ have? Fake AJ, I like to call him. Could it be HIV? Could it be AIDS? I thought tuberculosis. I don't know. I don't know where I pulled that from. We will see. So the nurse tells Grace, listen, go home and rest. We're going to keep AJ for observation. It seems like he tried to do this before. I don't know. She can't see AJ, basically, in a nutshell. She can't see him. And if she does see him, it will be AJ's decision because he is not a minor. So if he doesn't want to see Grace or anyone else, nothing Grace can do about it. So of course, this puts her in a state of stress. She found him on the bathroom floor. Now he doesn't want to see her. It's just a lot. It's just too much. Shifting gears to my favorite, Lady Mae, right? So Lady Mae is still fasting and she's worried about AJ. Bishop, he wants to still go through with remarrying Lady Mae down at the city hall. And Mae just doesn't think that now is the time. Of course, Lady Mae's trigger, Charity, she shows up and Lady Mae starts snapping on her. She let her know that the only reason she invited her to the wedding was because Bishop made her. And Lady Mae said, if she had it her way, Charity would be sitting under a tree in the potter's field with a dunce's cap on in the cold swinging shadow of her favorite Bible hero. You see her face? She meant every word she said. And Charity in her rude self says, who, Naomi? And at this point, Lady Mae jumps up and screams, Judas! Charity is such a trigger. She's like, I'm leaving. I'm going to work where people actually like me. All right, girl, if you believe that. I don't think anybody's paying you too much attention when they're getting ready to tear down the church. Anywho, Bishop, again, his only concern is when is he and Lady Mae going to get married? And she just tells him, Flag Day, because she's tired of hearing about it. I said before that there is a reason why Bishop not only because he loves his wife, of course, right? And things are somewhat on the up and up, but I think that there is a reason that we will soon find out that Bishop is very adamant about remarrying Lady Mae. So moving along, we see Karissa, or as I like to call her, Chlamydia, and her daughter. They're talking, and who cares? Jacob, he walks in, and Karissa reminds him of their quote-unquote meeting. Zora's in the dark. She doesn't know what's going on. They're basically going to be meeting with Chlamydia's divorce attorney. Rick Fox ends up calling Grace, and he tells her about a pastor that knows Bob Whitmore, and he wants to take Grace to see him because, she knows him. So they go and knock on his door, right? And he can't talk. Bob Whitmore told them not to talk about the merger with the church, not to talk about anything. He closes the door on them. Can't talk to any press. Sophia, we see her leaving messages for Dante to call her back because he ain't returned her calls. He's getting back with his ex. We move on to see Lady Mae and Bishop again. I love them two together. They go to Mavis's old club, right? Mavis is Mae's sister, who was played by Oprah. Now, when Mavis left town, she left her club to Grace. And Bishop wants to use that spot as their new church. Remember, Harmony and Hope took over Calvary, and that church is getting ready to be demolished. Anyway, Mae, she wants the club torn down and rebuilt. So you see Bishop, he's just reminiscing about the good times because let's keep it real. Even though Bishop married Lady Mae, if you've been watching the show, Mavis and Bishop had a thing. They had a relationship. And it seems that he probably still is in love with Mavis. She's carefree. Her and Bishop have a lot in common. But I guess Lady Mae would look good on his arm, being that he's the bishop of this mega church, right? And Mae knows that. This is one of the reasons why she wants that nightclub torn down, stripped down to the bones and rebuilt, and Bishop is like, nah, we could use it. Like, it's good. We don't have to rebuild anything. Lady Mae lets Bishop know, look, if the place is not gutted, torn down, and rebuilt, I'm out. So Bishop knows what he has to do. Anyway, Charity, she arrives to work to find that her office has been taken over by Judy and painted plantation pink and Confederate gray. I said, Judy got to go. Mind you, the church is going to be torn down in a week. So Judy did this to get under Charity's skin and to kind of flex her muscles. She storms into Phil's office and gives him a piece of her mind. And before she leaves, she dramatically tosses the papers off the desk because she's tired of Phil. But Phil has to do what he has to do. He has to marry Judy because he's Bob Whitmore's second in command. And he obviously takes his position as second in command seriously. He chose his career or his status over Charity. After that, Charity sachets out, honey. Let me tell you something. Charity's going to end up dislocating her hip. All that twisting she be doing when she storms out of her room, right? So we're back to Jacob and Karissa. So they're meeting with Chlamydia's divorce attorney, and Chlamydia wants primary custody of her and Jacob's son. Now, Jacob, he wants shared custody, but he ends up signing the papers without even looking at them. Did you notice that? I'm like, that was less than smart. As sneaky as Karissa is, he may have signed away his life and doesn't even know it. But what if he signed like John Doe and he didn't actually sign the papers? But he just got so frustrated with her. He tried to fight, but he knows that she has this will hanging over his head. So he's not gonna give her too much. He's not gonna push back with her request too much because he's afraid of what might come out if Karissa goes public and tells everybody about this will that she's hanging over his head. Oh, Jacob. We move on. We see Noah and Grace. Now, Noah's back in town. Took him forever and a day to get back in town, right? They're at the hospital, and Noah, he wants to be a family. He and his current wife, they're going through a divorce. Isabel, I think that's her name. Now, AJ doesn't want to see anyone. Of course, Grace, she's hurt by this. And she's just not in the mood to deal with Noah's little fairy tale right now. You know, he's staying at his mama's house. Grace is not trying to hear, yeah, we can be a family. She's just like, I've been here dealing with so much crap since I got back in town, you know, since her sister killed herself. And I've been dealing with all of this, and you just swoop in and you want to just, you know, add yourself and mix like your oatmeal and we'll be a family. No, it's not going to work that way. I'm over it. Just let it go. Noah's probably just desperate and lonely. He probably wants to move back into the Greenleaf compound, and he want that old thing back. But Grace ain't got time. Plus, Rick Fox want to get back with her. You know, she broke up with him. Grace ain't got time for this right now. Okay? So we see Zora and Sophia. So Sophia, she reveals that she lost her virginity to Dante, basically. And now he won't answer her calls, and he might be getting back with his ex, Nikki. And I'm just like, oh, Grace, come get your daughter. Come and get your daughter. We see Charity. She tells Judy that Phil is only marrying her because her daddy is making him. So they're all in a meeting room, and Judy comes in and, this lughead, you know, she's kissing all over Phil in front of Charity. Of course, try to make her jealous. She's marking her territory, if you will. So Phil, he's just standing there. He's saying nothing. Judy, she ignores Charity. Then Charity twists out the conference room and rolls her eyes. And then you see her run to the bathroom and she starts crying. Poor Charity. Like, is Charity going to be like, is she going to get any sort of grace? No pun intended. It's just back to back to back, making a fool of herself, taking losses. Just, Well, she did basically give away the family church, so what goes around comes around. Anyway, Bishop, we see him in this scene trying to get in contact with Mavis, right, to let her know because about the plans of what they're going to do with her old club, because Bishop was telling Lady Mae, hey, we should at least let Mavis know that we're going to tear it down. And she's just like, for what? So he tries to get a hold of her. It sounds like he called a club of some sort, and he was put on hold, and he hangs up while he's on hold. I wonder why he hung up. I think he probably hung up because he knows that Mavis would not be okay with that, even though Mavis gave the club to Grace, and Grace says, hey, look, you know, Mom, Pop, do whatever you want with the club. Use it for your church. Grace has she's not going to do anything with it. But I think Bishop knows that Mavis is not going to be okay with that because there's so much history there, especially probably history between them two. So he ends up hanging up, and he later on tells Lady Mae, hey, you know, I found a contractor and we're going to do what we're going to do. So we shift gears and we see Lady Mae and Grace talking on the front steps, and they're outside of the house, and Grace is venting about AJ not wanting to see her, and Lady Mae, she vents to Grace about visiting Faith's grave and the fact that she's gone, you know, and Lady Mae is just like, I wonder if there's anything that I could have done. You know what's really interesting? And Lady Mae was very, very comforting to her. It's interesting how their relationship has turned around completely. You remember, Lady Mae couldn't stand the sight of Grace in like season 1, season 2. You know, and I thought that was very, very interesting because even though AJ is not deceased, you know, they're both going through a mourning period as far as it pertains to their children. Very interesting dynamic, and I like the way that they're writing the storyline for these characters. Anyway, Charity, of course, she shows up and she busts up the moment, and Grace is like, yeah, I'm out. And Lady Mae was getting ready to walk off, and Charity's like, Mama, tell me what I need to do. Child. Lady Mae, again with the reads, Lady Mae says, look, your sister just came from the hospital, and AJ does not want to see her. I just came from Faith's grave. It is not about you. You know what's so messed up? Charity has suffered loss herself. Like, she is annoying, right? But she has suffered a few losses herself. Like, the disdain that Lady Mae had for Grace in earlier seasons seems to have now shifted to Charity. And she is getting the heat, right? Not that she doesn't deserve it, But it's interesting to see how this all like plays out, right? That's crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, Jacob and his future wife. Right? Look at Charity. Oh God. So Jacob and his future wife, they're talking, and they come home, and Zora's yelling, asking her parents if they're getting divorced, and she storms out. You know, that Zora is really rude and annoying, so I don't even care. Jacob asks Karissa, look, you're not going to let me take the heat for all of this, because Zora's like, what are you doing, cheating again, to her father? Just rude and out of order. So Chlamydia says, yes, I am. You know, she says she had to clean up his mess all these years because he was cheating on her. So Karissa goes to take her medications. He's like, yeah, while you take your slut meds. Speaking of meds, I noticed that I don't see Jacob taking any antibiotics. Wasn't he exposed to Carissa's chlamydia? Why he ain't taking no medication? Anyway, Karissa, she's still threatening Jacob with this will, and I just can't wait until it's revealed that the will Karissa has is fraudulent. I'm just hoping that that's the direction the writers will go in. You know, I'm really, really hoping that that's the case. Anyway, we move on. Oh, God. Charity, Lord. Charity and Grace. So Charity decides to share a poem with Grace that she wrote to Eden. Eden was one of the twins that Charity was pregnant with. You know, Eden passed away. So Charity, like I said, she was pregnant with twins, and only her son survived. Speaking of son, where the heck is her son? Anyway, Grace asked her, how in the hell can she turn AJ's suicide attempt around and make it about her? And Karissa said something. I mean, not Karissa. Charity said something. Charity said, you and mama deserve each other. Now, she's only saying that because, you know, Grace is being mean to her, and so is the mama. But Charity, what do you expect, sis? Like, you... Stop trying to make sense. Moving along. Lady Mae and Bishop. Now, Bishop approaches Lady Mae about setting a date for their wedding. He didn't remember that earlier in the day, they agreed on Flag Day, right? Now, when I saw this, I said to myself, all right, Greenleaf, listen up. Writers, listen up and listen up good. I was just like, y'all better leave our Uncle Bishop's health alone. We already went through a health scare. We know he got Parkinson's. In the first and second season, he didn't want to take his medication. We saw Basie holding a gun to Bishop's chest, thinking that he was going to take him out of here. Leave Bishop's health alone, please. I'm getting nervous. But I was informed that memory loss, or the early stages of dementia, is a symptom of, or an effect, the side effect symptom of Parkinson's disease. So it seems that Bishop is losing his memory, and I think Lady Mae realizes that, because we see that her fast is finally over in the next scene. So she's eating and she's enjoying week-old pasta, and Marisol is just like, oh, you know, let me make you something fresh. And she was like, you can go ahead and make something fresh, but this right here is mine. And she's just so dramatic, and she's like, a tomato. You know, Lady Mae, she really does that character justice. I love it. But I think that Lady Mae broke her fast because she knows that she's going to have to kind of take the lead and take the reins on several things as it pertains to their business, the Greenleaf business, because she realized something is off with Bishop's health. You know what I mean? And his health issues and his symptoms have returned, because she said, don't you remember we already set a date? He's like, oh, yes, Flag Day. So I said, uh-oh. So she snapped out of her, you know, her fast, and she snapped out of her funk, because she knows it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? The road is going to get rough ahead. But y'all need to leave Bishop's health alone, even though I think that it is going to be very, very, very shocking. Something is going to happen to Bishop, because they're bringing back up his health issues, right? We're seeing little, you know, they're leaving little clues, little hints and clues and stuff like that throughout this episode. We didn't really see much of his health issues last season, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, Jacob again. So he's fishing with his son, and he found the old fishing box in the storage unit that belonged to Mac. Remember, he got Alexis, his old side piece. She told him about a storage unit that Mac had, his uncle. And he picked up a fishing box. He didn't even open it right away and look into it in the beginning of the episode. But he took his son fishing, and he's talking to his son, and he actually rummaged through the fishing box, or the toggle box, I think it's called. And he discovered a will that had the name Daryl James on it. Now, Daryl James was Basie's father. You remember Basie? Daryl James is Basie's father. He was the one who died in that church fire that Mac and Bishop, they planned. They set that up to get insurance money. And Bishop said that he did not know that Daryl was in the basement. That's what he said. Listen, now, we love Bishop and Lady Mae, but they have a lot of skeletons in their closet, under the floorboards, in the walls. So I believe that he didn't know up until I saw the previews for the upcoming episode. Now, Bishop, like I said, he said that he didn't know that Daryl was in that church basement, but something tells me Bishop ain't telling the truth, or maybe he doesn't remember because of his early stages of dementia. I don't know. Now, in the midst of all of this, right, Sophia, she sent Dante a picture of her boobs, and Zora alerts her that her cannons are all over social media. And I'm just like, Lord, Sophia, why? She should have gone back to school. Anyway, Grace gets a call from Carl Weaver, right? And he tells her to look into Eden Bail Lending. This is the same pastor that closed the door in her face and Rick Fox's face, saying, no, I can't talk to you. He was affiliated with the Greenleaves earlier in the season because Bob Whitmore wanted to merge his church along with Calvary. And, you know, he seemed cool, but it didn't take place. So this is where he comes from. Because I'm like, where is he from? Anyway, so he said, that's all I'm going to tell you, Grace. Tell Rick Fox, don't call me no more. Don't contact me no more. This conversation never happened. And he hangs up. Now, Eden Bail Lending. So obviously Grace is going to look into that. Eden, huh? Isn't that the name? Wasn't that the name of Charity's daughter, Eden? And this is Eden Bail Lending. Coincidence? Who knows? Maybe I'm looking too much into this. Anyway, Jacob, he goes to see Tasha. Interesting that he knew where Tasha was. He knocks on the door. We see Tasha Skanks opens the door. I'm like, how does he know where she is? You know, I really want them to be together. I'm going to keep it real with you. I hope they end up together because she was very, very attentive to him and he was attentive to her. So hopefully they'll end up together. Anyway, he tells her, look, Tasha, I need to find Basie. I need to find Basie. Tasha says, Jacob, Basie is dead. I'm like, dead? Lord, Basie is dead. Or is he? Because you know Basie is a crafty one, right? He did have gambling debt last season, and I do recall him being followed by someone in the last season when he was in that liquor store. So who knows? Who knows who was after him? He was basically on the run. But is he faking his death? And where the heck is Rochelle? And why is there a will in Mac's old fishing box, toggle box, whatever, that has Basie's father on that will? What the heck is going on? Now, in upcoming episodes, I don't know if it's going to be the next episode, but I did see the preview where Jacob was approaching his father, confronting his father, and he asked Bishop, he said, did you know that Daryl was in that basement? Did you call him and tell him to come to the church? Now, being that Bishop is suffering from dementia, is he even going to remember what he did that long ago? This is all Mac's fault. All of it is Mac's fault. Weasel. I wish they could dig him up from the grave and just pummel him. So I guess we're going to have to find out. I'm just really in a funk because I really think that they're gonna try to take Bishop out of here. I really do. And you guys know that there is going to be a spinoff of this show. And it's just making me wonder what would be the storyline. Of course, I know we have to wait. The anticipation is killing me. I think they should wrap up AJ's story. Hopefully, episode 3, which will be titled The Third Day. Let's just wrap this AJ story up because I still want to know who my man dressed in all black like the Omen was. Every time I see his picture, it creeps me the heck out. Who is he? When are they going to reveal that that's really Grace's son? This guy. Ah! Every time I see this picture, it makes me nervous. Where's his body? It was said that he was killed. Like, that's what Aaron said. Where is he? I know I have to wait, but I'm impatient. All right, Royal Family. So this concludes episode 2 of Greenleaf. And not to mention the theme song for this season is Going Up Yonder. Who's going up yonder? God, no, I don't want it to be Bishop, please. But I think it is. And then the spinoff will probably be Lady Mae dealing with the loss of Bishop. I don't know. I really feel emotional about this because they brought his health issues back for a reason. And then all this scandal, all this stress. He may be very optimistic about starting anew, but I know that his blood, sweat, and tears and other people's blood went into building Calvary, and he's about to lose it. He's literally about to watch it. He lost it already. He doesn't have control anymore. To see it torn down and all this stuff happening, and the stress is probably bringing on the symptoms of his disease. All right, I done made myself sad now, Royal Family. Thanks for hanging out with me. This was a different type of review, more conversational. So I guess we have to see. I'll be back with episode 3. Let me go pray for my Greenleaf family. Until next time, folks.